All right, so I'm going to do the lab, so you can sort of, follow along. Hopefully already done, but still, here we go. So just starting with a brand new Java file. It does say I'm going to create a class called product. So we are good start. Public class product. You can hear me over my keyboard. Okay. And okay, it says it has the following attributes, which are instance variables called name, price, and on sale. And we know that our instance variables always are going to have the private identifier. And so we want to, they're private, and then we just define them as normal variables. So name is probably going to be a string, so we'll call it string name. We don't have to set the value to anything yet. We'll do that using the constructors, but we'll do the same thing for, oops, we should probably spell these words right. Price is going to be a double, so private double price. And then we have on sale, which is going to be a Boolean, right? It's either going to be yes or no, true or false. So we'll go ahead and say on sale. Okay. Next thing that comes are going to be constructors. I know that, and good thing in the instructions over here, it says provide 3 different constructors as follows. The order really doesn't matter because it's when we actually create the object. Using the different parameters is when it's going to pick which one to use. So I would do the default constructor first, typically, which is this middle one, because it has no parameters. So it's always going to be public. Oops, let's go back over here so I can start typing. It's always going to be public constructors, and they always have to have the same name of the class, in this case, product. We're going to have no parameters in this case, as stated before. I'm going to tab over there, and what I'm going to do is basically it tells me what to set these values for. So a constructor is going to run regardless. That's why I don't have to initialize these values to anything, right? I don't have to say name equals, and an empty string and price equals 0.0, because a constructor is going to run and it's going to do the initializing for me, and it's going to initialize it as different, based on the constructor, 2 different things. So in this case, okay, I'm at name. It says that I want to call the name widget. So of course it's a string, so I need my double quotes. And so it's going to set the name value here to the string widget. It's going to set price to 10.0. It's going to set it says no to on sale. So it's going to set the on sale to false. So this is sort of like the setup, right? That's with no parameters. Okay. And, let's just, if I compile this, right, we're compiling as we're going. And again, it does require me to save. So I'll go ahead and save it in this code folder called product. That's what I called it. And you'll see it should pop up over here once it gets saved. And there it is. All right. It did compile. It compiled fine. All right. There it is. Operation complete. Great. And of course, it made a classifier as well. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, of course, click over here. Here we go. We need to make some the other parameters. So I'm going to make the parameter up here. It says which initializes the attributes using the 3 parameters. So we're going to have 3 parameters in this case, and they're just going to match the 3 parameters are accepting values that the product will be. So I'm going to say, you know what? Let's make a public another constructor. It's got to be called product. In this case, there are going to be parameters. What I'll do is say I want a string parameter, and I'm going to just call it n, okay, for name. I'm going to take a double parameter, and I'm going to set it to p. Like these are the sort of the temporary local variables that these are going to be stored in once I create an object. Okay, and I actually will make an object and bounce back and forth to show you what I mean. It'll be a good idea. And then we're going to accept. It's going to be a Boolean, right? On sale is a Boolean. I'll just say S for sale. And then what we're going to do with them is basically we're going to set, instead of setting the name, if I run the constructor with no parameters, it's going to set the name to widget, price to 10, and on sale to false. If I set it with, a name in here, an actual string, comma, an actual double, like a price, comma, and a Boolean, then I'm going to set those to those values. So I'm going to set the name, not the widget, but to whatever they gave me. And whatever they gave me, I called n. I'm going to set the price to, again, not 10.0, but whatever they gave me, which in this case I called P. These can be called different things, but I called them these in this case. I'm going to set the on sale variable, which is a Boolean, to whatever they gave me. Oh, now again, we're assuming, and they would have to give me the right types of values, right? It wouldn't accept anything but a string here, a double here, or a Boolean here. So I know that they'd be safe sort of going in those, being stored in those spots there. All right, so let's actually just compile this, and let's actually go over and you can show. I can show. Oops. Oh, I called it S and then I called it O. Oops. So they should obviously match, right? We have an S here and an S here. So that's where we compile as we go. All right. So the next, I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna come back to these. Okay. I'm gonna come back to all these, but I just want to show you what I mean, what's happening. Okay. So if I go, the thing that the class that's going to be sort of making the products, right, and different products using different constructors is going to be the product printer. I'm going to go ahead and say file new Java. It's going to make a whole new class, public class called product. Of course, it has to be one word, product printer, sort of with the capital P at the beginning and then sort of in camel case. And of course, we need our main method. So public static void main string. Ours is fine. I think that can actually be either way. Okay, so we have basically our main method. In our main method is, and for at least in this case, we're going to make our objects. So I'm going to actually compile this. I'm going to knock the microphone over first. Step 1, 2 is compile. So I'm going to compile it, but I got to save it. So it's saved as product printer in the same folder, right? Which is important. Otherwise, it won't work. So it was saved in the same folder here. It is going to go ahead and compile it as well. It's done. Of course, nothing's going to happen. But what I am going to do is I'm going to, if I make using the product, the sort of the product class name, which is called product, right? So, and I'm going to say, I'm going to make a product called grapes. I don't know, grapes are a product, I guess. And I'm going to say it's going to be, so just like I would make a product called grapes, right? Just like I would make an int called num, or, a string called name. I'm just calling a product called grapes. And just like I can initialize them in the same line by saying int num equals 15, I can say product grapes equals, and instead of me saying, another a sort of an integer or something like that, sort of a primitive data type, I'm going to say, no, I want a actual new product. So we're going to create a new instance of the product class. Okay. And again, I can give it no parameters. Okay. And what will happen is if I give it no parameters, it'll create an object and it'll run the default constructor, which is here, right? With no I switched over to the other tab. So it's going to say, okay, it's going to make a string name, price, sale. Once it makes a new product, once it makes a new grapes product, and then it's going to set the name to widget, the price to 10, and on sale to false, because it's going to run this. It's only going to run one constructor every time I make a new object, but when I make a new object, it will run a constructor. Okay, so it won't do this one because I didn't have any parameters, and so it matches basically the parameters that I see. In this case, I had no parameters, so it does the default constructor, and so it'll do that. And you can see this. Now I could start outputting some stuff, but the easiest way to sort of see this is I'm just going to show you the debugger here, and I'm going to, if I did this, so if I ran the debug mode, you can actually see over here that it made an object. So we actually say that, okay, we have a local besides the args, right, which is up here. Besides that, in our local variables, it says we have a grape. It's called grapes. It's an object. It's of type product. So it's a product object that's made from the class that we made. It was generated from ours. And what does it have? Well, it has these three things. It has the name is widget, the price is 10, on sale is false. And sort of, we'll not worry about that. But basically the name, the string is quote unquote, widget. The price is 10.0, the on sale is false, right? It did that because it used the default constructor. Okay, it did that because of the default constructor. Go back to browse, we can see that all our files there. Okay, so let's say I wanted to make another object, right? I wanted to make another object here. If I want to make another product, I can make a bunch of them, but we'll call it banana. I'm going to have to go and record on the next one. So I'll stop it here and you can pick it up on the next one.